Page 28. Ralph was exhilarated by this test of his skill. Toward dawn, logging trucks began to rumble down the mountain, shaking the earth as they came. Ralph never had seen anything so terrifying as those great double-tired monsters with logs lashed to their truck beds, barreling down the center of the highway, and he knew the time had come to hide for the day. He ate some dusty weed seeds, drank dew, slept under a leaf, and started off once more at nightfall toward the sound of the bugle. Between cars and trucks, Ralph tore along down the highway through the shadows of the night. This ride was the freedom he had dreamed of. Speed without effort. Once the thought crossed his mind that if he should ever want to return to the Mountain View Inn, he could never make it back up the mountain under his own power. What a silly thought. Why should he ever want to go back to the inn when he could travel this way? On the third night of Ralph's journey, as darkness faded and the pine trees gave way to shrub oak, Ralph found himself out in the open, where there were no sheltering shadows. A milk truck rattled past on its way to the Mountain View Inn. Blackbirds greeted the dawn with bursts of gurgling song, and not far away, a rooster crowed. A pheasant flew low across the road, startling Ralph and causing him to collide with a piece of gravel. The road, which now followed an irrigation ditch, had leveled off, and Ralph had to produce his own power. As Ralph putted along on his motorcycle, daylight made him uneasy. He was looking for a place to hide when the notes of the bugle, so close he felt as if they might shatter him, burst forth in the lively morning tune. Before they died away, laughter and shouts filled the air. Medium-sized boys and girls, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Ralph had reached his destination. Ralph wished old Matt could see him as he rode off the road and bounced onto a gravel lane that crossed a small bridge over the irrigation ditch. Ahead lay a number of low, weathered buildings, surrounded by lawn and shaded by walnut trees. Boys and girls were washing their faces in wash basins set on the benches. A big brown dog, barking furiously, came bounding toward Ralph, who stopped, frozen with terror. The dog stopped too, so suddenly he nearly sat down in the gravel. He recovered himself and approached, snuffling with his wet black nose. Ralph sat with his paws clutching his handle grips in fear while the horrible black nose sniffed him.
"And just who do you think you are?"
asked the dog. "Quiet, Sam," yelled the boy. Mouse." Ralph felt very, very meek. Sam eyed Ralph with curiosity.
"Where did you get the motorcycle?"
he wanted to know. "A boy gave it to me," Ralph was beginning to feel slightly braver, but only slightly. That big dog could gobble a mouse in one gulp. But not if I hang on to my motorcycle, thought Ralph, feeling that his courage had not deserted him entirely. A dog would not eat a motorcycle.
No kidding, said Sam. A mouse-sized motorcycle. Where did you come from?
The Mountain View Inn?
That rundown place, said Sam. I'm not surprised the mice are deserting it. Where are you going?
Well, here, I guess, said Ralph. I followed the sound of the bugle. I wanted to be near medium-sized children and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Sorry, said Sam. You can't come in here. I'm the watchdog of Happy Acre Camp, and it's my job to protect the camp.
Oh, come on, said Ralph, who was beginning to see that Sam was not really a ferocious dog. I'm just a mouse. Sam looked uncomfortable. Obviously, he was a dog that liked to please everyone.
I would let you in if I could, but my orders are to keep an eye out on anyone who doesn't belong here.
Ralph hunched down on his motorcycle. Please, I'm just a teeny little brown mouse. Nobody would even notice me. Sam's honest brown face looked worried.
No, he said at last, I can't let you in. I have my orders from Aunt Jill and Uncle Steve in the camp office. They are in charge here.
I've had a long, hard trip, said Ralph. I'm tired, hungry. Sam looked so worried that Ralph pressed his advantage. You know, boys like mice. They would be glad to have me. Sam looked back toward a white building under the walnut trees. Then he looked down at Ralph.
I tell you, I can't do it, he said. If I let you come in, I'd be breaking my orders. I'm already in trouble because a car came along in the middle of the night and dumped a box of kittens. It got away before I could rouse anybody.
Kittens! Squeaked Ralph in horror.
I have the worst time with kittens.
Sam's voice was gloomy.
People are always dumping kittens here because they know girls will beg their parents to let them take them home.
Very many kittens? Asked Ralph, who was feeling nervous once more.
Too many, said Sam. We always had 3 kittens that belonged here, and the other night 6 more were dumped. And once they are here, I'm not allowed to chase them. I tell you, it isn't fair. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's kittens. Silly little things with no sense of responsibility.